The Grand Slam of North American Wild Sheep has been around since Grantsell Fitz coined the phrase in 1947. Less than a decade later, the Grand Slam Club was founded by Bob Householder in 1956. The recipients here tonight prove the Grand Slam is as important today as it was to Grantsell Fitz and Bob Householder in the beginning. We'll be breaking this large number of Grand Slammers into groups, beginning with the regular Grand Slammers, then archery Grand Slammers, lady Grand Slammers, and finishing up with multiple Grand Slammers. We'd like to call James Clemenza of New York to the stage to recognize him for Grand Slam number 2112, which he finished back in April 2019 with the Desert Bighorn from Carmen Island, Mexico. James began his Grand Slam journey in August of 1995 when he took a Doll sheep in the Yukon. In between, James hunted his Bighorn in British Columbia in 1998, and his Stone, also in BC, came back in 2009. We now recognize Michael Scott Ashbrook of Louisiana for Grand Slam number 2190. Unlike most people, Scott actually began his Grand Slam quest with the Desert Bighorn from Sonora in January 2014. He acquired two more of his rams in 2015, a Doll from NWT in August and a California Bighorn from British Columbia 1 month later. He completed his slam with a Stone from BC in August of 2016. E.J. Barros of Texas earned Grand Slam number 2225 with a Stone sheep that he took in August of 2022 in the Yukon. His first North American ram, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Wyoming, came October 2016. 1 year later found E.J. in Sonora, Mexico, where he was able to take his Desert Bighorn. Later that same year, he traveled to the Alaska Range and took his Doll sheep. Stephen Johnson of Alberta's Grand Slammer number 2245, and he did it in 4 consecutive years. His first ram in that journey was a 2019 Doll sheep from NWT. He followed that with a 2020 Rocky Mountain Bighorn from his home province and a 2021 Stone sheep in British Columbia. His 2022 Mexicana Desert Bighorn from Tiburon Island finished his 4-year quest. Grand Slam number 2251 was assigned to Nick Sander of Pennsylvania after he documented his 4th ram, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Wyoming that he took in October 2022. Along the way, Nick also took a Doll sheep from the Yukon in August of 2017, a Stone sheep from British Columbia in 2019, and a Weemsee Desert Bighorn from South Baja in 2020. Michael Snyder of Michigan is Grand Slammer number 2252. He began that slam with the Yukon Doll in August of 2014. In August 2018, he traveled to British Columbia for his Stone sheep. He finished with the last 2 sheep in late 2019, a massive Rocky Mountain Bighorn in BC in September, the Mexicana Desert Ram in December. Matt Ward of California completed Grand Slam number 2262 in September 2018 with a California Bighorn taken in British Columbia. In March 2008, he was hunting in Sonora, Mexico, where he took a Desert Bighorn to begin his quest for the Grand Slam. Later that same year, he became a half slammer with his Stone ram, and in August 2015, Matt was in Alaska, where he took his Doll. Next, we'd like to recognize Mark Wells of Wyoming for achieving his Grand Slam milestone. Mark earned Grand Slam number 2263 with the Mexicana Desert Bighorn from Sonora in January 2023. Previously, he had taken a Yukon Fannin Ram in 2017, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Wyoming in 2018, and a Doll sheep in NWT in 2019. Now let's call Iowa's Scott Albright to the stage. Scott began his eventual Grand Slam number 2266 in September 2015 with a Doll sheep from NWT. He followed up with a British Columbia Stone in September 2018 and an Alberta Rocky Mountain Bighorn in September 2019. His Grand Slam ram was a Mexicana Desert Bighorn from Sonora in February 2023. Bruce Kirkpatrick of Pennsylvania is Grand Slammer number 2269. He completed that quest in 2022 with his Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Colorado. Rather unusually, he began with the Desert Bighorn in 2007. The first year he'd applied for a permit in Utah. Along the way, he added his Stone sheep in British Columbia in 2010 and his Doll sheep in NWT in 2013. Michael V. Ambrose of Texas began his journey toward Grand Slam number 2272 when he took a Mexicana Desert Bighorn in January 2019. He then took a California Bighorn in Utah in October 2021. His three-quarter slam ram was a Stone Chief, British Columbia in August of 2022, and he completed his slam with a Yukon Doll sheep in August 2023. Michigan's Mark Carter became Grand Slammer number 2273 after documenting the California Bighorn that he took in British Columbia in September 2023. Prior to that, his first of the four was NWT Doll sheep, taken in 2016. He filled in the rest of his slam with the British Columbia Stone Ram in 2018 and the Mexicana Desert Bighorn from Sonora in 2021. That completes Group 1. And now for our next group. Jim Kestelute of Michigan completed Grand Slam number 2274 with 4 rams in just 2 different calendar years. During 2021, he took his Desert Bighorn in Sonora in January and his California Bighorn in British Columbia in September. He sat it out in 2022 but got back in the mountains in 2023, taking a Great Doll in August and finishing his Grand Slam with the Stone Chief in September. Chipper Dipple of Texas completed Grand Slam number 2277 in September 2016 with the Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken in British Columbia. In 2010, he was in NWT and took his Doll sheep. Then in 2012, he traveled to Sonora, Mexico, became a half slammer with a Desert Bighorn. In 2013, he became a three-quarter slammer with a Stone Chief that he took in British Columbia. Indiana's Grant Smith went after his Grand Slam of 2279 in the most methodical manner with 4 rams in 4 consecutive years. 2020 was the year for his Mexicana Desert Bighorn from Tiburon Island in December. 2021 brought his impressive Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Nebraska. With those 2 difficult ones behind him, Grant took his stone in British Columbia in September 2022 and finished with his NWT Doll in September 2023. Some folks do it in a year or two, but Kevin Gilbert of Montana took 20 years to complete his Grand Slam number 2280. He began with an Alaska Doll in September 2003 and finished with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Alberta in September 2023. In between those rams, Kevin took a Stone Chief in British Columbia in 2013 and his Desert Bighorn in Mexico in 2021. Alabama's Evan Zeiger made short work out of accomplishing Grand Slam number 2281. He began with a Weemsee Desert Bighorn in 2021. After taking another desert of the Mexicana variety in 2022, he completed his Grand Slam with 3 other rams during 2023 alone, an NWT Doll and a British Columbia Stone, both taken in September, and a California Bighorn from Utah taken in October to round out his Grand Slam milestone. Miguel Estrada of Switzerland had to make several trips to North America in order to finish his Grand Slam number 2283. His first of the 4 was a Doll ram from Alaska that he took in 1990. Almost a decade later, Miguel hunted in British Columbia to get his Stone sheep in 1999. It took another 20 years before he hunted his Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Alberta in 2019, but then he only waited 3 years before completing his slam with the Mexicana Desert Bighorn in Sonora in March 2022. Pennsylvania's George Bierman completed Grand Slam number 2284 in October 2023 with a Stone Chief from the Yukon. He had reached the three-quarter slam level only 1 month earlier with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Wyoming. He took his Weemsee Desert Bighorn in Laredo, Mexico in January 2021. It had been a long dry spell before that, though, as George's first ram had been a Doll sheep from the Yukon that he took in September 2010. Ben Rawls of Washington got off to a flying start toward his Grand Slam, number 2286. He took both of his first 2 sheep during calendar year 2015, his NWT Doll in August, and his Mexicana Desert Bighorn on Tiburon Island in December. He reached three-quarter slam status the very next year when he got his Stone sheep in the Cassiar Mountains in August of 2016. Ben's enormous Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Oregon in October 2023 completed both his Grand Slam and his Super Slam. Neil H. Clayton of Utah is Grand Slammer number 2287. He began his quest with a Doll Sheep taken at NWT in 2005. In 2006, he traveled to British Columbia and took his stone ram. 2012 found Neil in New Mexico on a self-guided hunt for an Nelsoni Desert Bighorn. 1 year later, he finished his Grand Slam with an Alberta Rocky Mountain Bighorn on a hunt he purchased at the GSCO convention auction. All Grand Slams are different, but number 2288 belonging to John Bottomley of Alberta followed a fairly typical pattern. Like so many others, John began with his Doll Sheep in 2017. Next came his Fannin, which he took into Yukon in 2021. Then he got busy and finished the job during 2023, taking a Mexicana Desert Sheep in February and his Grand Slam ram, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in his home province of Alberta, in October. Henry Noss of Pennsylvania is Grand Slammer number 2291. Henry began way back in 1996 with a Doll Sheep taken in the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT. In 2010, he scored with a Stone Sheep taken in the Yukon. In 2015, he traveled to Alberta and became a three-quarter slammer with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn. He finished his Grand Slam in 2021 on a Desert Bighorn hunt in Sonora, Mexico. Georgia's Mike Marinelli completed Grand Slam number 2295 with the Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Alberta in September 2023. He began his 23-year quest, the Doll Sheep from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT, in August 2000. Next came his stone from the Yukon in August 2007. His three-quarter slam ram was his Desert Bighorn from Sonora, Mexico, taken in March 2012. That concludes our Rifle Grand Slam Awards, but remember, we still have the Archery Grand Slams, Lady Grand Slams, and multiple Grand Slammers yet to go. Each year we recognize Archery Grand Slams separately. Those slams have their regular Grand Slam documentation number, but they have an additional number representing an Archery Grand Slam. Gene Fleming of Pennsylvania completed Grand Slam number 2246 and Archery Grand Slam number 84 with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Utah in October 2022. The first sheep for his Archery Slam was a Fannin ram in 2013, followed by both the Doll and Desert Sheep during 2021, the Doll in August and the Desert in November. Jonah Stewart of Alaska completed Grand Slam number 2293 and Archery Grand Slam number 88 with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken in Alberta in November 2023. Jonah took his Doll Sheep on a self-guided hunt in the Brooks Range of Alaska in 2018. 2022 was a good year for Jonah, as in October he went to British Columbia and took his Stone Sheep, and then 2 months later he traveled to Sonora, Mexico for his Desert Bighorn. As with the Archery Grand Slammers, we recognize Lady Grand Slammers separately. Those slams also have regular Grand Slam documentation numbers with an additional number representing the sequence as a Lady Grand Slammer. Denise Hoffman of New York is Grand Slammer number 2275 and Lady Grand Slammer number 80. She began her quest in 2012 with her Stone Sheep. In November 2017, she hunted in Alberta for her Rocky Mountain Bighorn. February 2019 found her in Harmon Island, Mexico, where she got her Desert Ram, and she completed her Grand Slam in August 2023 with the Doll Sheep from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT. California's Lisa McNamee earned Grand Slam number 2282 and Lady Grand Slam number 81 in August 2023, when she took a British Columbia Stone Ram. She began her slam in September 2015 with the Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Montana. That was followed by her Alaska Doll Ram in August 2019, and she hunted on Harmon Island, Mexico for a Desert Bighorn in December 2021. That completes this group. When it comes to sheep hunting fever, some people accept the challenge to take multiple Grand Slams, and tonight we have several people who have documented multiple Grand Slams to recognize. Rich Crawford of Michigan completed his second Grand Slam with a 2020 Desert Bighorn from Sonora, Mexico. Backing up, Rich had previously taken a second Doll Ram on a hunt in the Yukon in 2016 and a second Rocky Mountain Bighorn in 2019 in Colorado. We'll finish up by showing you Rich's Fannin Ram, also from the Yukon, taken back in 2008, helped him earn a second Grand Slam. Barry King of Wyoming began working on his second Grand Slam when he took another Dall sheep in the Brooks Range of Alaska in 2017. He inched a bit closer on a self-guided hunt for his Rocky Mountain Bighorn, taken in Wyoming in 2019. In 2021, he hunted in Sonora to get his second Desert Bighorn and completed his second Grand Slam with a Stone Ram in 2023 in British Columbia. Another member who completed his second Grand Slam in 2020 is Wyoming's Frank Maestri. He began that second group of four with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Colorado in 2016. Next came his Stone Sheep in British Columbia in 2017. Then he hunted in the Yukon for his second Dall sheep in 2019 and completed his second Grand Slam with the Mexicana Desert Sheep in November 2020. Robert E. Mays Jr. took a Mexicana Desert Bighorn in Sonora to complete a second Grand Slam in 2022. He already had a second Dall sheep from 1997 taken in the Wrangell Mountains, a second Stone Sheep from 1998 taken in British Columbia, and a California Bighorn from 2000 taken on a drawn permit in Idaho. Utah's David Myra completed his second Grand Slam in November 2020 with an Elsoni Desert Bighorn on a Nevada draw tag. He took his second Dall in 1994 on the Dillinger River in the Alaska Range and his second Stone Sheep in 1996. Rounding out his second Grand Slam is his Rocky Mountain Bighorn that he took in 2000. While we have Dave on the stage, we might as well tell you that he completed yet a third Grand Slam in 2022 with the Mexicana Desert Ram taken in Sonora. He took a Yukon Fannin Ram in 1998 to count as his third stone, and his third Dall was taken in the Yukon in 2002. He took a California Bighorn in November 2008 on a self-guided hunt in Utah. Ray Passway of Ontario completed his archery Grand Slam back in 2019, and some of those rams are also a part of a complete second Grand Slam. That second slam began with a second Stone Sheep in 2016. His second Dall sheep came in 2019. He took a second California Bighorn in 2020 and finished his second Grand Slam on the Mexicana Desert Bighorn in 2023. Mike Snyder of Michigan took a second Stone Sheep on the hunt in British Columbia in September 2022 to complete his second Grand Slam. Leading up to that milestone, Mike took his second Dall Ram from Alaska in 2020, his second Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Utah in 2021, and his second Mexicana Desert Bighorn in February 2022 on Tiburon Island in Mexico. Michael Wick of Wisconsin has a Fannin Ram as part of his original Grand Slam. In 2016, he took a Stone Ram in British Columbia to begin his second Grand Slam. His second Dall sheep was taken in the Alaska Range in 2018. He took a Mexicana Bighorn in 2019 in Mexico as his second Desert Sheep and completed his second Grand Slam with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Colorado in 2022. David Mark Ossel of Virginia completed a third Grand Slam beginning with his 2019 Desert Bighorn taken in Utah. Then in December 2021, he was in Colorado, took his third Rocky Mountain Bighorn. His next ram was a third Dall sheep taken in the Yukon in August of 2022. And finally in 2023, he was back in the Yukon to take his Fannin Ram and complete his third Grand Slam. Madeline Domosky of Colorado is quite the accomplished mountain hunter and the first lady to achieve 4 Grand Slams. Her fourth Bighorn was a Rocky Mountain Ram from South Dakota, taken back in 2015. Maddie traveled to the Yukon in August 2018 to get her fourth Dall Ram. Her fourth Desert Bighorn was an impressive ram from Mexico, taken in 2021, and she finished her fourth Grand Slam in September 2023 with a great Stone Sheep from British Columbia. And it's worth mentioning that Maddie is just a Stone Sheep away from her 5th Grand Slam. Alan Means of Nevada has completed his 4th Grand Slam with a Desert Sheep taken out of Chihuahua, Mexico in October 2023. Along the way, he took his 4th Dall Ram in 2002. His 4th Bighorn came from New Mexico in 2003, and his 4th Stone Sheep was taken in British Columbia in September 2009. Jerry Mushkat of Pennsylvania began working on a 4th Grand Slam when he took a Fannin Ram in the McKenzie Mountains in August 2004. His next entry came in October 2006 with the Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Wyoming. He took his fourth Desert Sheep in 2013 and finished his fourth Grand Slam with a Doll Sheep in 2023. It was a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Utah taken in October 2023 that earned George Lawrence III his 11th Grand Slam. Backing up, you see George with his 11th Desert Bighorn, which was taken in Mexico back in 2020 and was part of his Shotgun Grand Slam. George's 11th Doll and Stone were taken in consecutive months in 2023. The Doll came on a hunt at NWT in July, and in August he traveled to BC and found success on his 11th Stone Sheep. We're pleased to recognize Jeff Tomoski of Colorado for achieving his 11th and 12th Grand Slams. Jeff was the 2023 recipient of the Obus at last year's convention, so he's obviously no stranger to the world's mountains. You've been seeing some of Jeff's rams on the screen, including his 2017 Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Montana and his 11th Desert from Mexico taken in 2019. Jeff's 11th Stone from BC came in July 2022, and his 11th Doll was taken on a hunt in NWT in August 2023. Moving along to Jeff's 12th Slam, we'll start with his tremendous Rocky Mountain Bighorn from his home state of Colorado, taken in 2018, and he went back to Mexico in 2020 to get his 12th Desert Bighorn. Jeff's 12th Stone was a great BC ram taken in 2022, and he traveled to the Yukon in September 2023 to take a fine Doll ram to round out his 12th Grand Slam. Ironically, that Doll Sheep was 12 years old. That completes all of our Grand Slam awards for this year. We'd now like to ask anyone who's ever achieved a Grand Slam to please stand and once again be recognized for achieving your Grand Slam milestone. And let's all welcome the 2023 Grand Slammers. Let's give them all a big round of applause.